Concept, please proceed.
Mr. Chair, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Jose Arturo Garcia Jr., 3rd District, Rizal. Honorable Jose Arturo Garcia Jr., 3rd District, Rizal. The Honorable Ziaur Roman Adyong, 1st District, Lanao del Sur, and the Honorable Rodante D. Marcoleta, Sagip Party List. Welcome, Your Honors.
Thank you, Comsec. Comsec is directed to acknowledge all the resource persons present in today's hearing. Please proceed.
Mr. Chair, joining us in today's hearing, we have the officials of the Municipality of Mataas na Kahoy. We have Mayor Janet Magbantay Ilagan. Good morning po. Vice Mayor J. Manalo Ilagan, sir. Councilor Ferdinand Dimaano. Councilor Karen Joy Lucky. Councilor Attorney Roel Malabag. Councilor Herwin Del Mundo. Councilor Lemuel De Ocampo. Councilor Pepito Vergara. Councilor Merlin Caraan Lucky. Councilor Melvin Lucero. Former SB Secretary Emmanuel Alfiler. Mr. Rodante G. De Leon, Business Permits and Licensing Officer. Emilia R. Malaluan, General Services Officer. Engineer Michael Olarte, Municipal Planning and Development Coordinator. Rosary G. De La Paz, Municipal Budget Officer. Lenilyn Caraan, Municipal Accountant. Lady Ivy Hidalgo, Municipal Treasurer. Gali D. Tipan, Human Resource Officer. We also have Ms. Feliciana Gonzalez, the former Municipal Assessor. Melvin M. Lucero, former SK President. Georgian Landicho, former SB Secretary. And Ms. Marlene Mauhay, Engineer Gerald Leesa, Engineer Samantha Ingala.
Before we proceed with the continuation of the interpellation by the members of this committee, let me read my opening remarks. Once again, good morning, everyone. I sincerely thank you all for taking the time to attend our third hearing. Your presence and active participation are invaluable as we work together to address the matters at hand. Before we commence, I would like to clarify and set the record straight on two of the main issues discussed during the January 15, 2025 hearing. First, provision creating fraud audit teams. The Commission on Audit claimed in the last hearing that its resolution temporarily suspending the creation of fraud audit teams during the election period October 1 to 2024 to May 12, 2025 was intended to uphold political neutrality and protect audit teams from potential harassment. However, our committee pointed out that starting the ban in October seems premature, considering that the campaign period does not officially begin until February 9, 2025. This unnecessarily extends the period of fraud audits, raising concerns that COA may be unduly limiting its workload, despite its mandate to conduct fraud audits as part of its duties. The committee emphasized that directives arising from inquiries in aid of legislation should not be excluded from the resolution's coverage. Legislative inquiries should not fall within the scope of COA's temporary provision in creating fraud audit teams. While we acknowledge that COA's rule-making power is enshrined in the Constitution, we also emphasize that Congress' mandate to conduct inquiries in aid of legislation is equally protected. COA Resolution Number 24-014 stems from COA's rule-making power, which pertains to procedural law. In contrast, Congress operates under substantive law when conducting inquiries, and as a fundamental legal principle, substantive law takes precedence over procedural law. To date, despite sending two letters to Chairperson Cordova, we have yet to receive a written reply from COA regarding this matter. And second issue, question of legislative purpose of the inquiry that was also raised by the Honorable Marcota during the previous hearing. Now, all inquiries conducted in legislation by the Committee on Public Accounts or those in which committees involved have a clear legislative purpose. The committee's track record demonstrates that we do not allow ourselves to be used for political agendas. Once a resolution or a specific measure is referred to our committee, we make it a point to diligently study and review all the relevant documents and determine whether or not there is a basis to introduce changes to our existing laws. In the committee reports we have submitted to the plenary regarding necessary amendments, auditing laws are explicitly outlined. One notable example is our long-standing recommendation to amend the problematic cash advance system, urging both COA and fellow legislators to reform it to better safeguard public funds. Third, legal compliance in purchasing agricultural lands. Now, on the meat of the issues this morning, during the previous hearing, we have uncovered several problematic and questionable actions committed by local officials of Mataas na Kahoy, Batangas. Notably, we found that Mataas na Kahoy may not have complied with the stringent legal requirements for purchasing agricultural lands for housing project intended for informal settlers. In our last hearing, it was revealed that LGU failed to fully adhere to the mandated legal procedures, including obtaining necessary approvals and certifications from relevant government agencies. These include the necessary reclassification ordinance passed by the Sangguniang Bayan as reviewed and approved by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan pursuant to Section 56 of the Local Government Code, and the certificate of conversion from the DAR and NIA, among others. In fact, during the last hearing, Mayor Janet and Vice Mayor Jay Lagan even admitted that they failed to obtain these necessary requirements, stating that the municipality's compliance is solely based on what is being practiced by other LGUs. This is utterly unacceptable to stating public officials are entrusted with the power to affect the lives of their constituents, and it comes with the responsibility to uphold the high standards of legal and ethical standard. But this situation, while saddening, must not derail us from doing our functions. The fact that there are local officials who are unaware of these procedures only bolsters our objective of addressing potential legislative gaps by introducing necessary amendments to our existing laws. Please note that non-compliance with law in acquiring and supplying agricultural land into industrial or residential use may constitute violations of several legal provisions, including but not limited to the Local Government Code of 1991 or Republic Act 7160, Agrarian Reform Laws or Republic Act 6657, or the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, Agricultural and Fisheries Modernization Act, Urban Development and Housing Act of 1992 or Republic Act 7279. To comply with these laws undermines the integrity of the land use policies and may lead to administrative or criminal sanctions. Public trust in our institution hinges in our collective ability to take decisive and effective action against corruption. Only to swift and meaningful reforms can be safeguard the interests of the Philippine people and ensure that every peso of public funds is used responsibly and for the greater good. Help us bring about systemic change by cooperating in our investigation. Maraming salamat po. Before we recognize the members of this committee who wants to continue their interpellation, Comsec, may I ask if the DSUD and the LRA present in today's hearing?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Is DSUD present?
They are present, Mr. Chair.
Representative DSUD, please kindly raise your hand if you're present.
Present, Your Honor.
Thank you. How about the LRA?
Present, Your Honor.
So you're representing LRA Central Office or Region 4A?
Your Honor, we are from the Central Office, but we brought with us the Records Officer, Batangas Province.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Once again, before I recognize the members to ask questions or clarification or manifestations, let me just put into record that this is the third hearing of this House resolution, and hopefully this will be the last hearing hearing. No? This sa ngayon po, we have already established two specific issues regarding the COA and of course question of purchase of property or particularly agricultural lands in which the Land Registration Authority, the supposedly BIDAR, and specifically in this particular issue of Mataas na Makahoy, yung Pagcor Village po, no, which is a project, joint project of the local government and the that's why we have invited this in today's hearing po to update us the status of the project and of course possible legal issues with regards to the project po. Thank you. So depende po no sa maging resultahan, but hopefully this will be the last hearing in this resolution so that we can draft the committee report then in the plenary po. Thank you. Kong Jojo is recognized. Please proceed.
Good morning po, Chairman. Thank you po. Anyway, I just want to make it short lang, no? So based on the previous hearing, COA, no, I think you found some violations sa ano nila, sa transactions. Is it true? There's some violations regarding sa pag-purchase nila sa mga documents. COA? Based on the ano,
Commissioner Audit assigned doon sa Mataas na Kahoy. Please answer the query from Jojo Lara.
Good morning, Your Honor. Some of the allegations embodied in the House resolution were derived from the annual audit reports, previous audits.
meaning walang any misrepresentation or based on documents. Kasi I think, no, based on the LGU, there's some ano rin may pagkukulang submission documents based on the report. Wala ba? Is it all clear?
The allegations stated po in the House resolution, there's none that spoke of non-submission of documents po. It involved various distinct transactions.
So, yeah, meaning it all complied during the 2022.
As to the recommendations given po, for those audit findings, they were all fully implemented.
Fully implemented.
Most of them.
Most of them.
As of December 2023.
2023. Okay.
Sorry. With the indulgence of Pong Jojo. Ma'am, you're just, this is the first time that you joined this meeting, di ba? No?
It's the second time.
But during the previous hearing, you stated, kung ikaw po yun o somebody else from the COA, you stated that there are some requirements being required to the municipality of Mataas na Kahoy that has not been submitted. Kaya on record yun, ma'am. That's why nung nakaraan nga, when Mayor, of course, we recognize the seal of good governance, in which isa pang issue yun. No, when Mayor stated that they were being awarded doon sa seal of good governance, inisesa po natin yun, di ba? Na hindi lang Mataas na Kahoy, this involves also other LGUs na 30% compliance lang. Diba? 30% lang, pwede na. At ito is confirmed by DILG. That's why, ang recommendation natin doon sa DILG, they must review the standards and qualifications, requirements for giving seal of local good governance. And well, in fact, it was stated during the hearing because mismo sa inyong galing na there are some. Ano ba talaga? It was on record. Diba, pinag-usapan kasi natin dito 2021 and 2022. Now, during the period, you stated last hearing na may ilang dokumento pang non-compliance, di ba? Being required sa Mataas na Kahoy. Tama po, parang ikaw yung ma'am, di ba?
Yes, po, Your Honor. With that po, there are audit recommendations po that have been fully implemented, while there are also audit recommendations from prior years which are not yet implemented. But with the with regards to submission of documents po, we did not have any pending requirement from LGU as to submission of documents. But with other concerns po as to audit recommendations po, meron pong mga hindi pa po implemented.
Yun lang po, linawin na natin. But of course, yun po ang sinasabi ko. COA, of course, usually yan, di ba, yung report nyo, no? That's why. Pero nung nakaraan, when you were asked with regards to the purchase of property, bakit hindi nyo inayos? But yung isang it was stated by, I think that was the regional officer of COA or from the central office, kayo po, attorney, with regards to MC 2024-014. Tama po. Yun yung isang hindrance with regards to fraud audit, di ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay.
Please continue.
Anyway, COA, no? So, for prior transactions that 2021, 22, 23, have you have any findings for any misuse of funds? Do you have any misuse funds ng LGU? Kasi kung, please, reply.
Your Honor, with regards to that question po, as of our audit period po, we did not issue any audit observation po directly indicating that there is misuse of funds po by the LGU.
Okay, so wala. Just say yes or no. Walang findings or audit or disallowance. Wala.
Wala po, Your Honor.
Meaning clear ang mataas sa kahoy? Is that what you're implying?
We did not issue any disallowance po, Your Honor.
Okay. Anyway, next. LRA, nandyan po ba? Sir,
Yes,
tanong ko lang, no? Para mabilis tayo. Yung pag-conversion ng mga farmlands to sa mataas na kahoy, ilang percent ang allowed sa municipality nila?
Your Honor, I think this is a question best answered by the DAR in terms of conversion.
Yes. May DAR ba tayo?
Hindi po sa amin yan, Your
Hindi
Honor.
sa inyo.
Opo.
May DAR ba dito? Wala. Anyway, ang sa amin lang, no? Sa LGU, ma'am, pinapasa nyo sa SB ng mga conversion, development plan, etc. No? Dumadaan muna sa Kapitolyo yan, di ba? For confirmation.
Hindi, kasi kung sa DAR, di ba, kukuha sila ng percentage ng pero may
Mayor, please answer.
di ba? Pero conversion, yung maximum.
Your Honor,
Sa atin.
yung kung ano yung mga resolutions, we pass it to the provincial Sangguniang Review po.
Yes, so may confirmation.
Yes, yes po.
Okay. Ito pong binigyan natin ng mga conversion, no? May approval lahat sa Kapitolyo to.
Yes po, Your Honor.
All.
Yes po.
Pati sa PAGCOR, everything. So,
Yes po, Your Honor.
so wala po kayo dito na hindi pa kino-confirm pero pinasimulan nyo na ng development permit na ganyan. Kasi usually, sorry po kasi usually po, ano lang, no? Kasi sa amin sa Rizal, ganyan din, mas madaming munisipyo sa amin kaysa isa lang syudad namin, no? Naging practice before, nagkaroon ng SB resolution allowing sa development and conversion, no? So, inaakit yan sa Kapitolyo, pero it will take months. Meaning 3 months, 4 months minsan yan. Pero wala pa approval sa Kapitolyo, sinisimula na ng developer. Nangyari sa inyo yan?
So may I refer this to our Municipal Planning Development Officer,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. MPC.
Ano po? Bali po, bago po sinimulan po yung specifically po yung sa amin, for example po yung aming PAGCOR village. So, nag-comply po kami sa requirement. So, nagkaroon po kami ng reclassification. Nagkaroon din po ng development permit po galing po sa Sangguniang Bayan. And then I believe po doon sa reclassification, ito po ay nasubmit sa province at ito po ay na-aprobahan.
So, anong nauna? Approval ng province o yung pagbigay nyo ng building permit na?
Bali po laging nauna po muna ang reclass.
I mean, na-reclass yan sa SB sa bayan. Tapos isasubmit niyo yan sa Kapitolyo di ba? I-confirm nila. Nangyari ba sa inyo na before nila i-confirm na issue nyo na sila ng business ng building permit?
Wala pa po. Wala pa po.
Okay. Anyway, that's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Kong Jojo. Mayor, before I forgot now, please, you have submitted a voluminous documents, no? Napakakapal po.
Yes, sir.
Ano lang po, pag-isubmit na lang po to the COMSEC, sa committee, yung electronic copy na lang po, no? Para ma-check namin, mas mabilis, kasi mahirap po yung hard copy po.
Okay,
Yes,
po, Your Honor.
Thank you. But, Mayor, do you confirm kasi in yung previous hearing, it was established that in fact you admitted, both of you, the Mayor and Vice Mayor, with regards to and statement nyo nga is this is the practice is being practiced by almost all local government units. But sabi ko nga, to be fair to other LGUs, hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin na lahat. No, but of course, for the past several hearings, different local government units in this committee, yun po ang laging nangyayari, yung question of compliance with regards to reclassifying of agricultural lands or lots. Yun po. Kasi unless otherwise you can produce those requirements being required by law, and I will ask after po dito, yung LRA po, with regards to the property being the subject of this investigation, question po ng mga requirements. Malinaw po nung nakaraan. In fact, si Mayor na po, si Vice Mayor, former Mayor natin, nagpasalamat po sa committee, sa chairman, particularly sa chairman, for mentioning that, no, and for reminding them that they have to comply with the law, particularly all those requirements being required by law. In reclassifying those agricultural properties. Second po, ang tanungan ni Kong Jojo, assessor siguro makasagot dito before I will ask LRA. LRA kasi lagi itong problema nyo. Na nga yung LGU na process, hindi nyo pa kinakorek. Kasi ang lagi nyo sinasabi, ministerial. But of course, we have now some specific amendments in your charter. Hindi pwede pong ministerial lang. You have to check on the documents being required by law. Now, assessors, in relation sa tanong ni Kong Jojo, gaano na po kalaki yung na-reclassify in terms of percentage sa lugar nyo? I'm not talking about these two purchase properties. One purchase, one donated. Tama mo yun, no? Donation sa Pagcor Village natin, di ba? So, yung isa purchase property, I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about the whole agricultural property sa loob po, sa sako po ng mataas na kahoy. Do you have video now?
I would like to request our NPDC po for that matter.
Please. So, hindi mo, ma'am, sa assessors ka, hindi mo alam kung gaano nakalaki yung agricultural, ang conversion ng agricultural lands?
Wala po akong rewards na dala po ngayon, sir. So, I will search for our office because I am already tired po. So, at the present po, wala pa po ako nakitang records po sa amin.
Kailan ka ba nag-retire, ma'am?
September 12 po.
2024. Sino ngayon yung assessors, bagong assessors niyo?
Si Mr. Espedelia po, sir.
Sir. Have you taken your oath, sir?
Last hearing, sir.
Last hearing. Sir, do you have data or information with regards to the query of Kong Jojo?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, but as of now, we don't have the data yet, but we can check it at the office.
MPDO.
Ano po, Mr. Chair? Bale po, as per mandate po sa amin, ng LGU po, as Port Class Municipality po, ay 5% po lang yung limit for reclass. And as today po, as per our checking, hindi pa po lumalampas po ng 5% po ang nare-reclass po ng aming bayan. Kasi every time po na nagkakaroon po ng reclassification ng SB, ito po ina-account po namin sa aming pong record. And nilelis lang po namin sa aming allotted for agricultural for reclassification po.
Eto, MPDO, you're under oath. Kasi if you have to check that, submit nyo dito sa committee, na ipapasubmit ko sa inyo, please submit to the committee. Check din po kasi na sa LRA yan. Yeah, just make sure kasi sabi nga ni Kong Jojo, sa ibang mga lugar, instead of 5 to 10% lang po ang allowed under the local government code, sobra po yung conversion nangyari because yun nga, ay gusto magpa-convert without complying with all those requirements. At the same time, nag-pass mo dun sa allowable lang po na conversion supposedly from agricultural to any purpose of usage. Anyway, LRA, pakisabit lang po LPDO, assessors. Mayor, pakiano lang po.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
LRA, before I recognize, it's related to the query. Yes, of course. LRA, right to ask you a question because the topic ko lang is about LRA and LRA, related. Senator Marcoleta. LRA, before you proceed with your answer, I will recognize the Honorable Marcoleta. Senator Marcoleta, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With the little information I got in relation to the subject matter of the inquiry, what I know, if the municipality is a third-class municipality, I think 10% of the land area is the cap. That is the limit of reclassification. I know this because you will also recall when we investigated the municipality of San Simon, Pampanga. The land area of San Simon, Pampanga is about 4,230 hectares. So 10% should be 423. But what they reclassified so far is already 700 hectares. Yan po yung, I think whatever lapses that this municipality may have done, it will pale in comparison with that particular municipality in Pampanga. Ganun din po sa Mexico. Hindi ko po alam kung magkano sa fourth class. Baka 5%. So ang makikita lang natin dito, kung lumampas siya ng 5%, medyo may problema. Pero kung halimbawa, 2% pa lang, sapagkat hindi naman sila kagaya ng San Simon, isipin po, 100% nilagpasan po yung limit. Wala pong jurisdiction ng LRA doon sa reclassification. May jurisdiction dyan yung DAR. Kasi bago po ninyo ma-reclassify yan, meron pong connection, meron dapat na pag-uusap ang DAR at saka yung Department of Agriculture, lalong-lalo na po yung agricultural lands. Kasi meron pong irrigable at saka yung irrigated. Sa tuntunin po talagang hindi dapat i-reclassify yun. Ano man ang mangyari. Kaya lang po, nakakalusot talaga. At alam ko naman sa mataas na kahoy, wala. Siguro sa mababang kahoy, meron. Mr. Chair. Tingnan po ninyo, ang COA po kasi dapat nakakatulong kayo eh. Ang problema po kasi sa COA ngayon, Mr. Chair, ang kanilang pinananagutan ay yung post-audit. Di po ba post-audit kayo lahat? Ibig sabihin, tapos na po yung programa, tapos na yung project, doon lang kayo papasok. Kumbaga po sa project, kagaya po ng isang dati naming kasama rito, kaibigan pa ni Chairman Paduano. Akala mong gumawa ng housing project doon sa Misamis Occidental eh. Puro katarantaduan ang pinanggalingan. O tinanong ko yung auditor sa Region 10. Alam mo ba ako yung pinagtayuan ka ako ng lupa dyan eh. Hindi naman pag-aari ka ako ng Osamis City. Bago kayo magtatayo, dapat hindi ba yung titulo nasa inyo na? Kasi po kanya, nabigyan po kami ng writ of possession. Iba po yung writ of possession sa titulo. Magagalit po sa inyo ang COA. Kasi po ang COA, bago po pagkatapos po yan ay natayo, titingnan niya ngayon pati titulo. Paano po kung malalaman ng COA ngayon, pinagtayuan ninyo meron pa palang kaso hanggang umabot na ng Korte Suprema. Sino ngayon ang may-ari ka yung tinayo yung building na yan? So tinanong ko po yung COA, Mr. Chair, sabi ko, Mr. COA, alam mo ba ako, nung itinatayo yung ano na yan, hindi pa titulado sa pangalan ng LGU. Kasagot-sagot naman yan, Mr. Chair, hindi po. Ba't ka ako hindi mo alam? Post-audit po kami. So sa mga kapatid, malalaman mo lang pag tapos na yung project. Opo. Ngayong nalalaman mo na sinasabi ko na ngayon na hindi pag-aari ng ang gagawin mo. Wala po akong magagawa kasi post-audit po kami. O, saan tayo saan po tayo pupunta pag gano'n? Dapat po kasi, may pagkakataon gamitin po niyo yung pre-audit. Meron naman kayong circular na pre-audit, pwedeng gamitin. Itinanggi nyo lang eh. Parang sinupress nyo lang. Pero meron po kayong circular. Sa maraming pagkakataon, dapat pre-audit, lalo na po yung medyo kahina-hinala. Hindi po ba kaya ko mag-audit? Pag nakita nyo po yung mga expenses or expenditures na tinatagurian yung IU, EEU. O alam po ninyo yung IU, EEU, di ba? Madam Kowa? Ano po yung I? IU, EEU. Ano yung I? Irregular. O yung U? Ha? Ano po?
Unnecessary po.
O, dapat memorize IU, EEO. Isang E. Ano po yung E?
Extravagant.
O, another E.
Excessive.
O, another U.
Unconscionable.
O, yan. IU, EEU. Dapat binabantayan po natin. Dito po nakikita ko wala pong IU, EEU dito eh. Maaaring may lapses ng konti sapagkat hindi naman po lahat ay maaaring perfecto. Kasi perfecto lang ang perfecto sa atin. Dapat nakakatulong po kayo lahat. Dapat mahigpit talaga. Alam mo, Mr. Chair, sa bansang Israel, palibasa maliit yung kanilang bansa, mas malaki naman tayo. Doon po sa bansang Israel, kapag ka po yung lupa ay dedicated sa pagtatanim, kahit anong mangyari, hindi nila papalitan habang buhay pong tinatamnan yun. Tayo po, meron tayong, naalala po ninyo, 1992, meron po bang taga-DA dito? Mr. Chair, may taga-DA? Wala. 1992 po, naalala po niyo yung Fisheries and Agricultural Modernization Act na doon sinabi, kailangan dedicated po yung pagtatamnan natin in order for us to secure food sufficiency, if not food security. Hindi po eh. May mga mayayaman po may subdivision yan. Kilala po ninyo, di ba? Puro subdivision. Samantalang, tingnan po ninyo doon sa isang, yun nga po, yung sinasabi ko sa munisipyo ng San Simon. Sipin po ninyo, San Simon. Yung isang barangay na kung tawagin na San Miguel, ay alam po ni Mr. Chair, kasama po ako ron eh. Agricultural land. Nagtayo po siya ng resort. Yung mayor, ganun, magtatayo ka ba na resort sa agricultural? Pagkatapos, wala siyang building permit. Yung mga ginawa po niyo, may mga building permit yan.